So we have Chris from Smash Attack Studios joining us tonight. Welcome to Neon City Daily. How you going?
Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Thank you for joining us for what is the premiere episode of Indie Spotlight.
Thank you for having me.
Not a problem at all. So we're just going to keep it casual, short and sharp, and just have a chat about games, really, because that's what we're all here for.
No doubt.
So you guys are based in Tassie, correct?
Yeah, based up north in Launceston.
Cool. So this is your full-time gig, or is this a hobby?
It's very much a part-time endeavour for all those involved. A lot of us have families, full-time jobs, and this is kind of our attempt at trying to make something of it. More is probably the best way I can explain it.
And so how long have you been doing this for, the developing of games?
Making games, as for me personally, my history with games goes as far as back as over like 12, 13 years. Back with Game Maker and Yo-Yo Games, you used to be able to make stuff and just upload it to their forums. I made some shocking stuff, but taking it,
got to start somewhere.
Taking it on a more serious level, probably past 6 years. Past 6 years is probably when I've gone, hey, this is something I actually want to pursue, and then I've had enough people jump on board and crazy enough to follow me into the deep.
Yeah, cool. So how many of you are there? How many make up the studio itself?
The studio is multifaceted. We have a production team, an esports team, and a development team. On the production team, there's 3. On the esports team, there's 5. And on the dev team, I think there's like 8 of us. So there's a fair few of us. We do a few different things.
Yeah, no, that's a good size, really. So how many of you are actually developing games? So you yourself are a coder, as we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
So how many of you are actually crunching code?
So I've got my lead coder, Ben. He does a lot of... He's kind of what is the pillar, I guess, would be. I do... Yep. I have a history in game design and level design. I've taken up coding probably seriously in the past 12 months.
Okay. So self-taught mostly?
Skillshare, Udemy, and I even enrolled myself in a course in AIE for 6 months to online after. So I used to do 5 till 10 schooling after work 3 nights a week.
Oh wow, okay.
So I used to work from full time and then do that purely because my passion for all games goes that far, and I really wanted to be able to not have Ben do all the work. So I've jumped on. There's another coder, Alex. He's top notch, and we have Brett, who's kind of a 3D modeler and a little bit of coding.
Okay, so definitely having a good hard crack at making it a full-time gig.
Oh yeah, like we've got some great passion.
It's the ultimate goal.
Yeah, we got some great passion. We got Damien, who's our head 3D modeler, studied at Quantum. He's actually Ben's brother. We got my wife, who's a fully qualified graphic designer. She does a lot of contract work. She does a lot of marketing or UI work and stuff like that. So we're a very family orientated team. But overall we're on the same path, which is to try and make games.
Definitely. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's not that many studios like yours operating in Tasmania.
As far as I'm aware, there's 2 studios and there's some smaller. So I know of Myriad Game Studios based in Hobart. Fantastic team. There's Giant Margarita, which is based out of the university, I believe. Okay. They do party golf, party crashes. They're obviously well known for that. There's Terminal Button up in Devonport, I believe. And then there's like a few others that I would highly recommend. I'm more than happy to give some shout outs to them at the end, but like there's some great content being developed in Tasmania, and I cannot encourage people any more than to go crazy on it.
Oh, absolutely. And we're definitely interested in talking to as many of those people as we can.
And I think that's like a great endeavor. And from the research I've done about you guys, is like that's going to be huge, because the one thing that we're always going to benefit from here is when we back each other. Not just the developers, not just like the content creators and the news webs. Like, we got to showcase ourselves, which is like all of us together. So I think that's and I think because we are a small state, we can be so close knit. I think that's where our best advantage lies.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, our strength is always going to be in our community. And as you say, I mean, it sounds like, just your studio alone is, as you say, very family orientated and things like that. And In Tassie, as everyone knows, it's all about who you know.
Yeah, it kind of comes from the benefit of my position of the Tas Game Makers Board, which is actually an organisation with a president, with a treasurer, full board members, and the community has been gracious enough to vote me in twice.
Okay. Yep.
So integrating with the community has been a huge benefit because I've been able to see so many great things being made and the creatives, and it's not just video games, it's game makers. So there's card game makers, miniatures makers, board game makers. They're doing some fantastic stuff as well. The level of talent I'm seeing all across the board is insane.
And so you obviously see a market for it in Tasmania as well. So it's one thing to develop these games, whether it's digital or board game, card game, what have you. Do you think there's a market for that in Tasmania, or are you looking to break into an international market?
It's always both. Like, if they say if you can't succeed at home, you can't succeed anywhere. That was something from my sales background that I was always taught. It's like, if you can't nail the small things, you'll never nail the big things.
Yeah.
So, which is why I pride myself on putting the team's effort into community. Like, we're working on projects, and we have a lot of pizza days is probably the best way you can say it, where we'll have it that people can come play the game and just eat pizza with us and just chat shop.
Yeah. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, your endeavour, all these types of endeavours, ours included, either succeeds or fails, depending on the community engagement and the community interest.
Oh, 100%, yeah. Exactly, and that's the thing, is we push ourselves to be better and make things like the feedback that we get from anyone local is always huge, and when we go to shows, when people hear that stuff is coming out of the Tasmania, you can see their eyes go, whoa, stuff happens down there, and you're like, yeah, 100%.
No, that's awesome. And so when you're creating, so I researching your studio, it seems that you have a focus mainly on the mobile game market. Would that be right?
Yes and no. So studios cost money.
Of course, yes.
And because it's more of a business strategy, and when you hear studios and money, it's so negatively put together. But unfortunately, your favorite games cannot be made unless there's that simple little extra DLC you can buy, or there's the mobile game or whatever.
Yep.
The mobile games keep us afloat. So we use the mobile games as a two-step. One, to consistently train ourselves in new mechanics of a game, like we'll take a mechanic from a mobile game, break it down, see how did they do it, how did they make it, and we'll make it ourselves. By the time we've done that, we have 85% of the game. We might as well polish it to the best we can, put some menus, find music, audio, and get it out there. So we do. We're not expecting to make millions of dollars, but what we receive in publicity and revenue is enough to allow us to make the bigger stuff, which is coming, because the big stuff takes time, especially when we're only doing it 10 to 15 hours a week.
Yeah, it's a part-time gig, yeah. So it's an essential revenue stream, but I suppose the mobile market is huge, but from what I understand, the development time is a lot less. And it allows you to have the freedom to expand. So you're going into PC games?
Yeah, so one of the things that we're actually working on at the moment comes from the history of our mobile games and taking some of the stuff we've learned and expanding it. And we never would have known to expand it and develop it outside of its capacity if we hadn't made it at all to begin with.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how many of the big mechanics in big games in interviews and stuff you hear actually can come from the most unlikely of sources. Mobile games, old projects they made when they were kids and stuff like that. I went and found a project I made 4 years ago, which just happened to have this perfect code for something I was struggling to remember how to do, and I just tweaked it, put it in, and I was like, wow, this just fixed 70 problems.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Always handy to hold on to everything then.
Yeah, and you're still putting a game out in the market. You're learning how to publish something. You're learning how to market. You're learning how to jump through the hoops of corporations. There's a lot of paperwork to just get your app on the iTunes store.
Oh, I can imagine.
There's a reason the iTunes store doesn't have as much rubbish as the Google Play Store. Because the Google Play Store, You upload it, it can be approved. Like it just gets approved. But iTunes has like a 3 to 5 day business waiting day where someone will actually download, play it, and review it.
Right. There's a lot more of a curated list,
it's
really.
very much more curated, and you learn that process, and you wouldn't know about that process if you never made this stuff.
Are they subject to ratings? So obviously we have the classification board.
Yes and no. Like, we fill out a ratings questionnaire, but it goes off their system. So we have, if we tick the questionnaire, and at any point we believe that we have something on that questionnaire, we need to provide evidence that it fits that category. So again, it's good to learn how to do it on a small scale, because when we go to the actual big games that will need Australian classification,
it'll scale.
We know a little bit about the process.
Yeah,
which is fantastic.
A lot of it's applicable, which is definitely good, and it's going to save you a lot of heartache later on, I imagine.
So whenever people are like, "Oh, how do I get into devs?" I'm like, "Make mobile games." And everyone's like, "Look, they look at your mobile games." I was like, "Yeah, make mobile games. You'll learn about the industry so much just by making one, and you'll get better and better. Each time we make a game, it gets better, faster and faster, and better and better. And because we're spending less time on the crap stuff, we can build more on the fun stuff."
No, that makes sense. So how many games have you released for mobile?
Oh, goodness, that's a tricky one.
Oh, really? That many?
Yeah, because like I said, it's practice for us. It's our training. You know, when you have your training sessions for your sports, that's what it is for us. It's our training sessions.
And so, does much maintenance go into them post-release?
A heck of a lot. As soon as Apple or Google change one of their rules, you have to go in and update not one, but every single app we've ever released.
Right, okay. So it's not so much the game or the game mechanics itself, it's more complying with the publisher, so to speak, 100%. In this sense, Apple, and okay.
We've released 9 mobile games.
Right, okay. Yep. And that's over how long?
2 years.
Roughly 2 years, yeah.
But we've really ramped it up in the past year because we've really ramped up our goals and aspirations.
Okay. And one feeds into the other, as you were saying.
100%. And some of them are even client-based games. I actually just completed a game for a client. Like, they've sought us out and they said, "Hey, can you make us a game?"
Right, okay. So that's more for educational reasons, or...?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. We learn stuff, again. We build business relationships, which, like you said, in Tasmania, is hella important. So ever since we've released that contract game, I've had people come up to me when I've gone to that business and say, "Oh, you made this, I've played this, it's really cool." And I'm like, that feels great. And hopefully that person will translate to one of our console games.
Yes, yeah.
And that's the goal. It all feeds. It's this funnel. You put it in the funnel and gold comes out the bottom, hopefully.
Okay, so you've mentioned consoles. So I'm personally a member of the PC Master Race, and I wouldn't be caught dead on a console. Just ask my colleagues. I cop a lot of shit for it. But you're developing for console?
As much as you don't want to hear it, it's 60% of the market, roughly.
Yeah. Look, I've been pushing this shit uphill for years. As
someone who fights all 3 sides, I battle for mobile, I'll battle for console, I'll battle for PC.
Yep.
I just want our games to be played.
That's right. I have the luxury of being a picky asshole, but I can imagine you're going to want to expand your audience.
So I don't want people to miss out just because of a technological barrier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whilst I understand exclusivity deals for consoles and PCs and Stadia, like Serious Sam 4 got announced today that it's exclusive to Stadia of all things.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I saw that on Steam, actually.
Yeah, I think it's like locked to Stadia and PC for a little while. I was reading.
Yeah, wow, okay.
But that I understand that's necessary to, again, make money, fund studios. People need money to keep their jobs and make the games you love.
Yeah.
I will do the best I can to get my games on as many hands and as many
just be as hardware agnostic as possible.
Yeah, like right now, some of the games we're building, the go-to platform for us is Switch, because we're building some games that really focus on couch competitive multiplayer. In gun mode. They're like, I've had friends who've released the games. I know people in the industry who've released games on those consoles, and they say Switch by far is the one that they're going for. but they still get good return on.
Okay.
They still get good return on PC because as the PC is gone in the past 10 years, home PCs that plugged into TVs with controllers. I know a lot of people who have a second PC that acts as just like a server for movies and stuff. And what they do is they just get a cheap box.
Area of entry is certainly a lot lower than it used to be on PC. You look at something like VR and suddenly it goes up again. But do you think something like Steam, and they seem to be pushing indie developers pretty hard, is that useful to you? Do you find that beneficial?
Steam kind of has had a monopoly on the market. I'm very like 50-50 on them. Like sometimes like the games you have to play to get your stuff on the algorithm is nuts. Like you have to play the algorithm game, you have to Steam wishlisting and stuff like that. If you see devs asking for Steam wishlisting is the only way they're going to show up in the charts. If they don't show up in the charts within launch, they can just die.
Right. Okay.
But then you have the other thing, which is they take 30% of profits.
Yes. Yeah. I was aware of that figure, I think. Yep.
When Epic Games is only taking 12.
And now that's a recent thing, isn't it, really? Epic have kind of come in a big way.
And I understand like a lot of hesitance for the Epic, but the Epic Game Store is really good. They do a lot of really good deals. They don't have all the features like refunds and stuff like Steam does, but some of the stuff they're doing is really cool. If you buy a game on Epic Game Store and it goes on special within like a week or something, I think you get reimbursed the difference. That's like a new thing they're rolling out. Okay. I think that's really cool.
I think that applied to the free games too, didn't it? So GTA 5, I think, was.
Yeah, I believe so. And so I'm a huge advocate for both platforms.
Oh, look, absolutely, yeah. I mean, once upon a time, even I would complain that there's just too many clients.
Oh, there's 100% too many clients. The fact that I have to launch Uplay through Steam to play Rainbow Six Siege does my head in all the time.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. Yeah, I have the exact same complaint. But I mean, from a development perspective, it is good to know that these big organisations it sounds like they're getting on board. I mean, that's undercutting Steam profit margins in a huge way.
Yeah, and like
30% down to 10 or whatever it was.
That's the thing. It's just the nature of the business. Things are either going to be really, really good or things are going to be really bad. There's no clear-cut winner. You've just got to play the game that best suits you.
Yeah. And so the development cycle itself. So do you create for cross-platform? So you say that you want to put games in as many hands as possible, which means you have to be fairly hardware agnostic. How much work does that add? So if you want to release gun mode, for example, on Xbox, Switch, and PC, I imagine I'm completely ignorant to the actual development process and the coding, but I imagine that they've all got their own intricacies and idiosyncrasies that you need to take into account.
This is where the blessing of friends in the industry and porting companies come into place.
Right. Okay.
We know very little compared to everyone else. Most people I've met have probably forgotten more than I know.
Yeah. Right.
So
okay. Yeah.
But I am very fortunate to have touched base with so many great people that when the time comes to get on certain things, they're offering their hands and assistances, and it's fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. So again, it doesn't sound as difficult. Well, I guess as long as you've got those contacts.
It's difficult if you make it.
Yeah.
From my personal experience, again, this is all from my personal experience. Integrating, networking, and being a positive, engaging member of whatever development scene, community scene you're in has yielded me 10 times better results than sitting by myself and thinking I can solve the problem.
Talking about your personal experience, so you mentioned you have a sales background, self-taught a lot of code, or seeking, to learn more via online means. So within your studio, you're a co-owner?
Yeah, I'm the co-owner. So I own it with my business partner Max, who runs Downtilt, which is our esports team.
Yep. Okay.
So I oversee a lot of the game development side, and he oversees all the esports side. Right.
Okay. And how do you find the esports side of things? Fairly engaging community up in the north, or because I imagine it looks like you do a lot of local events.
Yeah. So Smash Bros is like the fighting game of choice for a lot of people. I've been fortunate enough to be in the Smash scene since 10 plus years.
Right. Okay. Yep.
I currently serve as the state tournament organizer. So I actually oversee most of the Smash stuff in the state.
Right, okay.
But what we do is, by building a brand around a community, we're building trust, I guess is the best way to put it. We're building our brand. It's like just another point of brand. Like, people, you might not know us for our games, but you know us for our team, and vice versa. You might not know us for our team, but you know us for our games, and they cross, they intersect. And I've had people come to our events purely because they knew of our games, or I've had people come to our events and download our games.
So again, it really all comes back to that networking, that sense of community, and trying to build that up.
It's all about feeding, and same with the production stuff. We do like YouTube content and stuff like that. Not because we want to make big YouTube bucks, but because we want to do it for ourselves. And the fact that we've been lucky enough to form a small community off it is like a blessing to us.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we talk about things like the Steam algorithm. It's the same challenge for us, but with YouTube.
Yeah, my tag game is weak. I need to improve my tag game. All the tags you got to put on your videos. Like, we're very fortunate in a lot of what we've done, and it's a commendation to my team's help. But like, some of the community stuff we've done is really, really cool as well. And seeing the community grow, like, I'll give him a small shout out. Our graphic artist, who does a lot of our Smash results, has recently taken on streaming under the tag Goki_Taz. And just because of his community integration, I've been able to just see this awesome young guy just grow his own brand. And like, to me, that's awesome. And that's purely come from integrating with our games, integrating with our community. And that's what I love to see. When people message me and say, I got this high score in your game, I'm like, dope. That is the coolest thing you could ever... You can say my game's cool. I appreciate that. But if you're sending me high scores and saying how happy it makes you to play our games, or how you have come to our events and you've found a passion for a game, or you've managed to, like, he loves Smash.
Mission accomplished.
He loves Smash, so he decided to start streaming Smash, and now he's on his thing. He's got his own thing, and I'm like, that is absolutely incredible. Like, that's why we do it. That's why we do it.
Yeah, so it's fair to say, obviously, money is not a motivator, and I don't think it can be in our current state.
No,
literally and figuratively.
You've got to do it. If your heart's in it for money, you're in the wrong. Your heart's got to be in it for the passion. Your mind's got to be in it for the monetary side. Because obviously, like I said, money in games, people have this negative thing. It's not a bad thing to think about money.
Look, you got to keep the lights on, otherwise nothing's going to get made.
Yeah, engine licenses cost money. Audio, if you don't have an audio guy, like, we had to outsource audio. Audio guys cost money. Marketing costs money. And you can get a grant from someone, but a grant's not going to cover it all. I think I was looking at some grant work for another mate in the mainland who was looking, and his grant wouldn't even come. His grant would instantly lose half just from the classification from the government.
Right, okay.
Because you've got to pay to submit your game for classification.
Do you really?
Yeah.
That's interesting way to approach it.
Well, they've got to make this thing. They've got to make money too.
And so do you find there's much government support, speaking of grants?
Taz, we are very fortunate to have Screen Taz.
Yep.
But from my interactions on the mainland, I wouldn't be able to 100% tell you. But like, a lot of them say, like, it's not great, but if you can get state support, your state support's good. But there's no overall government support.
Yeah, okay.
That I'm aware of.
So it's almost more valuable to you to network and have people with the requisite skills that you need.
Oh, 100%.
Them straight up just giving you a check.
Yeah, go to GCAP and stuff, and go to PAX, and go to Supernova, go to the conventions, and try and find out where the devs are.
Yeah.
Go talk to them, and that's like some of the best friendships I've ever formed are from those. PAX to me is not necessarily always about showcasing what we're working on. It's now about catching up with people who I truly call friends.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And so I'm gonna circle back to game mode. So, admittedly, that
gun mode.
That is what caught my eye originally. How's that coming across in the whole development cycle?
It's getting there. That's all we can really say. Like, these things take time, and we have a solid plan for release, but the thing is, there's still so much to do.
Yeah.
So much to do. What we had at PAX was like a very playable concept demo, like early alpha. It played. We took a ton of feedback. We started implementing that feedback, and now we're sitting here going, "All right, now what?" because the list is huge. So every now and then we're chipping off. Like it's a sculpture. You got your marble. We've got our chisel and hammer, and we're just chopping away slowly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so, is it fair to say that is the biggest project you're currently working on at the moment?
Yes, by far. We're working on another project, a first-person stealth game called Lawson's Shadow that we took to PAX. That is a great example of scope being blown out of proportion.
Right.
We had a great plan for it, realized that this plan was too big for, again, us. So what happens now is really we develop gun mode primarily, but Lawson's Shadow gets looked at when someone's getting burnt out, because you can get creatively burnt out. And
absolutely.
Some of the stuff that Lawson's has become now, we're a lot more proud of than what it was.
Right. Okay.
Because we were aiming for something crazy that we just could not in the end achieve.
Yeah. Okay. Just a bit too ambitious at the moment.
But that was a great learning curve for us, because it taught us how to scale our projects correctly.
And there's nothing to say that you can't come back around to that. I mean, if it's still a good idea and a solid core.
Yeah, we're still developing on it. We're still developing on it. I've released some small videos of like tweaks and stuff like we've done. Like we completely reworked the how the first person mechanics worked. We've completely reworked how security cameras and AI work. What else? Lighting. So like there's things happening. Yep. And then there's a third project which we're working on, which we're hoping to announce soon. And again, they're not. It sounds like a lot with 3 projects, but we've got to. This is us divvying up time, because I'm not proficient. I'm not great on a lot of programming because I'm still learning. So when I can't really, if I jump in and try to help Ben, there's a more chance that I'm going to mess up. So that I might as well jump into one of the other projects. So I'm not doing nothing.
Yeah. So there's some diversification is necessary for productivity.
Oh,
really, it's
100%, and a lot of studios do that. Like, one of the best things I was reading is they just finished one of the Call of Duties, and they were going, "Who wants to work on the next one, or do you want to work on something else?" And
yeah, okay,
like I think that's cool. Like a studio giving you the opportunity to continue working on something you just worked on for a couple of years under a new studio, or try something else. Yeah,
no, absolutely. And I guess you can't burn out particularly your creative and technical staff on, if they feel like they're doing the same thing over and over again, then that is inevitably going to show up in the finished product as well.
And this is what I was talking to you about before the show, which was that I make so many different things to avoid burning myself out, and I create passion projects like the new mobile title that we're working on, which is really built around the passion for my daughter.
Yep.
It's really funny. It's like, why have her play other people's stuff when she can play mine? And what I can do is I can add
absolutely.
I can add a little bit of a flair, add a little bit of her into it, and that's what I've done.
Yeah. Yep.
Worked with my wife on it, and worked with the team. And again, it's people just see it as a mobile game, but we see it as like it's something really proud for us. But what that's done is, whilst I've been working on that, it's boosted my mental capacity on the other projects. I'm like, oh, whilst I'm working on this, do you know what? This actually kind of could work for gun mode, or this could work for Lawson's Shadow. Why don't I? And then you jump into that project and you mess around with it.
Yeah, it's a constant cycle of one feeding the other, and as you say, constant learning as well.
Yeah, I'll give you like an example. Like we were messing around with customizable features, and I was like, I really think some form of like customization beyond what we just had planned would be great for gun mode. So went in and tinkered, and I got some really cool stuff that I'm really excited to hopefully present to the team later on if I ever complete it, because so many different things going on.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of making games, is it's that creative outlet.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And that's, I mean, obviously I'm not here developing games, but the creative aspect of what we do, there's 1,000,001 outlets that will report the news to you. But we certainly feel it's, it's who we are, it's our personalities and how we deliver that news that will, hopefully set us apart.
Yeah, we do the same. Like, everyone does Let's Plays, but why not grab me and one of our writers for our games, Oliver, and have two developers play a game and give our developer opinion? We're not the best devs ever, but playing through Doom and kind of dissecting and questioning, oh, I wonder how they did that and stuff, has been really fun.
And it offers a fresh new perspective. It sets you apart from the crowd as well.
Yeah. And I think, like, it's going back to you guys, it's the brilliance in it is that you're focusing local. And that's what we're trying to do. Like, if people here are having fun and they're going to come to, like, our pizza nights and hang out and community days, I think we're doing all right. That's my opinion. I think we're doing all right. If that's the case. Absolutely.
At the end of the day, I mean, I don't know about you, but I see games as a form of escapism. Exciting times, really. And because so your esports division is largely based around fighting games, is that right?
Yeah. Smash Bros is our main poison of choice, but
yep.
Like, we have a community day called Tuesday Night Fights, where we do Tekken, Marvel vs. Capcom, Dragon Ball Fighters, and
okay. And that's usually something that you hold locally, like in the same building, and everyone comes along.
Hosted at our office in Launceston.
Oh, so you guys do have a dedicated office for the studio?
Yeah, we invested in one this year because, again, like, we're really giving ourselves the opportunity. And we believe that the necessary steps to achieve the goals we needed to go a bit on a risk it the biscuit.
Yep.
We were very fortunate to find a landlord who's very, like, that gave us a really, really, really good deal.
Yeah, right, okay.
And they're helping us, and we're working with them, and yeah, just growing overall. We were very fortunate to come together as part of a deal.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
Like, we teamed up with them for a few things, such as it's actually the office. The office is on the side of a computer building, like computer retail shop. That's the word I'm after.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So we actually have a partnership deal, kind of partnership. I don't know how you word it. A mutual agreement that we buy our parts from them.
Yeah. Yep.
And they help us out, and it's been a fantastic partnership so far.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. It certainly sounds like the big push that you're making is paying off so far.
Definitely. I've seen more action on any of, like, more downloads on our games, more community interaction also in the past 4 months than I have ever before. Purely just because we're all deciding we're going to go hard at it this time.
Yeah. Yeah, just that renewed focus, and it's already yielding results. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's the same, like, when you mentioned you guys are having a commitment, hence why you're doing this show and you're doing other stuff. The commitment to your craft is what's going to get you far.
Yeah, and I think consistency as well is going to play a big role in, certainly in our success. We're finding that unless you have that consistent release cycle, consistent quality and things like that, then, it's really going to help you retain an audience.
Very much so. Very much so.
Cool. All right. Is there anything else? Just looking at my list. I'm sorry, I didn't stick to the list at all that I sent.
Like you said, we went casual. We were enjoying ourselves. We're having a great conversation.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot better than running down a list of questions.
Really, what's going on with us is look out for our games. Download our games if you can. Leave a like on our socials. I believe you will link them all.
Yes, we will link all your applicable social media channels, website.
Catch our Twitch streams and join our community. That's our biggest thing. Join our community. We would love to have you.
Oh, look, absolutely. We're always happy to have a chat, and if you've got anything coming out soon or in the works, and we're absolutely more than happy.
I will give you the
inside.
I'll give you the inside scoop then, just because it'd be nice. We do have something we are going to announce, as I discussed. We'll be more than happy to touch base with you on getting something together to show you.
That would be awesome.
I had the distinct pleasure of working with some amazing people such as Mitch Pommers up in New South Wales, who's been helping me with this project. Some local voiceover workers in Launceston on this project. So this one's a little bit cool, a little bit fun.
Shaping up to be a big one.
Whether it's big or not, I don't know, but it's what it is. It's kind of like you said, passion project. It's something funky, a little bit of us, and it's something we've been working on whilst we do gun mode and Mawson's Shadow.
Cool.
So look out for that, because we'll definitely be love to share it with you guys.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, let us know when you're ready to throw some details out there, and we'll hook up again and put out the word.
Yeah, it might have to be some sort of video one, this one, so you can actually sit, so that viewers can see the game on the screen.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Lots of different ways that we can achieve that and make sure that it lands in as many laps or on as many screens as possible.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm personally excited for it. Like, I've been playing it and stuff like that. It's not like it's a while from being completed, but like when I've got people who have I brought it to one of our community Smash sessions on Monday, and I had a few people, some of the guys look at it and play with it, and I had some of the studio guys look at it and play it who hadn't seen it yet, and they were like, and seeing smiles, seeing the reactions from what I wanted, I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, I'm on the right path.
Yeah, nice. Can you tell me what platform it's going to be available on?
PC, console. We'll aim it for that. If anything changes, I don't know, but
still in the works. Yeah, but that's what you're aiming for.
If you have a PC, grab some controllers. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Okay.
Grab some controllers. Grab some friends.
Ah, very cool. Nice. So stay tuned for that. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, not a problem. As we mentioned, we're going to put all the respective links down in the description, all on and on our social media channels. Check out Smash Attack Studios. Check out their games. They do streams, podcasts. If you're in the Launceston area, how can people get involved in something like your Tuesday night event?
Facebook and Twitter. They're the best way. All our events go up on there, or our website. You can actually add a section to our website where you can now click down tilt events, and it'll actually give you the calendar dates, times, and instructions on how to touch base with our community.
Awesome. And I'm just thinking of this now, but we have two very committed fighter game. They like to think they're really good at it, so I think we need to pitch them our best against your best at some point.
Oh yeah. No, we've got some talent. We've got some top 8ers at some majors and stuff.
Because whilst I'm all for building each other up, there is the elephant in the room that is Launceston versus Hobart, North versus South, and I think we can settle that in the fighting game of choice at some point. I think that would be quite interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, depends on the fighting game as well. Depends who you get. No, there's some real talent here. There's a player who was from Launceston who lives in Hobart now. They either are or were second best at their fighting game in the Southern Hemisphere.
Well, he's in Hobart now, so we call shotgun.
I don't think they will agree. I think they will join us.
The heart is still in the north.
Yeah, the heart is because anytime they have the opportunity to come up north, they do.
Yeah, okay.
And their family's still based up here, so we'll take them.
All right. No worries. Well, thanks again, and we'll definitely stay in touch, and hope to talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, everyone.
No worries. Thanks, everyone, and we'll catch you next episode.